Hi, welcome to our very first episode of Youth Come Alive. If you recall, just under a year ago, we did our pilot show and it was well received, so we decided that we had to bring this show for you. It is a show unlike any other we've done here before at ATN. It is a show for youths by youths. I would like to remind you at this moment that if you want to catch up with us, you can find us on Facebook, Channel 98, and on YouTube. This evening, I'm your host, Jalen Pascascio, and with me is...
I am Aislinn Murillo, and on set we have here Keisha Dennison.
And I'm Michaela Escliano.
Our topic for this segment is going to be man in the mirror. But today we will be talking about insecurities. What is insecurities, guys? What is insecurities?
Well, according to Mr. Google, an insecurity is defined as a lack of confidence. So we know confidence is your own surety of oneself.
I think it's not having or believing that you can do something or you have the capability of doing something as well.
I believe insecurities is something where I lack. And the majority of the time we find ourselves lacking a lot of things. And when we lack that specific or one, because it could be a wide majority,
Anything.
the vast majority of things. And so when we lack that thing, we become very weak in ourselves and we get depressed, we get sad about these things. Keisha, tell us a little bit.
I feel like you guys said what insecurities are. I think that if, for example, like, can I go ahead and give an example of something that I'm insecure about? So, when I was in primary school, I was a bit slimmer, right? So, and then I had an accident where I got knocked down by a car, and so I had to be in a cast for about 2 to 3 months. So all I was doing was just sitting down and eating whatever I wanted. They would give me because they felt bad for me, right? So, moving on from there, I started to pick up weight, and so from about standard 5, standard 6, I was insecure about my weight. And going into high school, I started to walk in the evenings with my friends because we lived in the city. And so from there, I started to lose weight and I felt a little bit more better about myself. But then, friend, I like food.
Food nice, and I like it.
Food nice. Break your heart. It does. Right? So I started to pick up a little bit more weight, and so I'm working on it right now.
Everybody.
So yeah.
How about my colleagues? What are your insecurities?
You know, and I'm smiling now, so that's one of them. I had what I would deem the most jacked up teeth.
Oh wow.
I struggled with pronouncing certain words and letters like S's and T's, but thank God for a doctor named Habet and the braces, because I no longer struggle with that. There are other things. Free advertisement. I should charge for this, but we're joking here. But yeah, that's one of my bigger insecurities I had.
I think everybody can say they have insecurities physical wise, but there's not only physical, it comes also mental, because sometimes you feel like, okay, like you're in school and you're not, how can you say, am I going to pass this class?
Yeah.
What am I going to do if I don't pass this class? What if I don't graduate with my other friends? And then you start doubting yourself and feel like you're going to fail. But one of my insecurities, as we are talking about physical, from growing up in school, you know, I'm small, short wise, not the other way. So from I was in primary school, I was always being teased about being short. And because I was short, I also had this little chunkiness on me. I can remember my friends used to call me cheeseburger? Chubby Cheeses. Chubby Cheeses was my name in primary school. And to be honest, your friends in primary school and high school did not make it any better on you going
They were
with your insecurities
real quick.
because they would find all sorts of things to call you in primary school and high school. But it's a lot of things coming with both physical and mental.
Before I touch upon on my insecurities, I just want to remind our online viewers to comment and talk to us about what you feel, what you have about this topic that we're talking about. Give us your feedback. Tell us about your insecurities.
Yes, I mean, we're sharing ours, so I know that you guys can maybe share yours as well. It doesn't have to be something, you feel is very private. Yes, you can keep, but if it's something that you can share with us, let us know how you feel about your insecurities and what you do to get over those insecurities.
Listen, a good thing about sharing is because we're vocal here, but there might be someone who is not comfortable with theirs.
Yeah.
So you getting it off your chest might be some form of relief to someone else.
Yes.
And insecurities is not something to be ashamed of because even in the Bible, we find examples of insecurities because I talked about my S's.
Jalen, I know you even talk about my no, but
You have to give
I retract my statement.
Yes.
okay, so me as a child growing up, I used to have bad acne. My acne was horrible, and I felt like I was the ugliest person. on
Imagine
this
getting
planet.
it, not having it young, but getting it when you're older.
I know, grudge you, because man, I had the worst acne, and I used to try all kind of skincare routine for my face. And I used to say, man, I used to watch those people and said, watch how clean their skin. Look at how nice those people look, just dressed up, and then with that, I started to change the way I dress to fit my face because I was like, this is not working. It. And then I realized that my insecurities don't define me. And so I try my best to to make my insecurity not control the way I think about myself because it it, it is how to say it change your perspective on things, but no, nobody can tell me that I'm pretty because I think that that's my biggest
Confidence. Confidence boost.
Right, that's my confidence boost about me. That's my flex. Yes, that's my flex.
And as Aislinn was saying that there's nothing that nobody can tell. When we look at ourselves, we tend to scrutinize our own selves about the things that we have on our face, on our bodies, because Aislinn can say that she did not like her acne, but Aislinn has the most beautiful brown eyes. So someone is not looking at her scars on her face; they're seeing her eyes.
Information is
So we don't need to always look at the stuff that only we see because maybe when they look at her, they don't see that, but they see the beauty in her face and her eyes.
right.
And I think to remember because like Aislinn said, nobody can tell she's not pretty. Listen, let me tell you, I am of the strongest belief that God took his time and crafted me. So nobody can call
Nobody.
for me.
He was
Nobody.
really thinking about me too.
The Bible verse, what does it say? About we were fearfully and wonderfully made.
The
Yes.
image of God. And having insecurities is fine once you realize that it doesn't define you and it doesn't make you any less of a person than someone else. Because what happens a lot of time, especially in younger ages, we compare ourselves a lot.
Ooh.
I don't know if you know this, primary school and high school children are very competitive.
Mm.
So you could have $5 today, and if I don't have $3, my mom will not love me enough. Instant insecurity.
It's okay, $2, and I used to people pull up, sitting young people and pull out like $20, and I said, what happened? Something wrong in my house?
Your bank account not the answer.
So I had first money.
Your bank account not the answer. And like I mentioned earlier before, I stole Aislenn's words.
Right.
We have examples in the Bible of people who have insecurities as well, and even with those insecurities, God used them in powerful ways. The biggest example I can remember is Moses. When Moses had to go before Pharaoh, He had a list quite similar to mine with the S's.
No. It was bad.
It was a list. It was a stutter.
Right.
It was a stutter.
You could barely get the words out.
Not clowning anybody, but
Yes.
just exaggeration. And he told God, "Listen, I can't go before the ruler of this nation. Imagine going in front of the prime minister of this country, something like that. You'd be afraid of doing that too." But God told him, "I am sending. You are going on my will. I will put the words in your mouth." And we can have the same assurance with our insecurities.
Yes, just like when God told Moses, and like I said, it comes down to the mental as well, because when God was telling him, to do this and to do that, he was probably thinking the same thing as Jalen said. Like, how can I go in front of the prime minister or this pharaoh and say that I want you make my people, let them go? And he was probably thinking of, what if I go up there and say the wrong things? What if I go up there and trip on my foot because I can't walk good? What if I go there and I'm not dressed correct? And there was a lot of things dressing. Oh, dress. That is one of the most insecurities that I believe other people have as well.
Right.
And when he went there and he was talking with God, God told him, I am the person that is sending you. I will put in your mouth what I need you to say. And that is why we shouldn't doubt God, because we may be afraid of doing things for him. But once we ask him, he will always give us that strength and that courage to push forward in anything, school, with your insecurities, with your family or friends. It doesn't matter what it is. He will put the words in your mouth to say.
That's right.
And a thing too, because a part of aiding with insecurities is how children are raised. I remember going to school, and my mom can testify of this. She always told me, "Nobody in our class smarter than you, So never you come home and tell me you dumb."
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody in the class smarter than you. And it's little affirmations that we give ourselves that boost our confidence. Keisha, you've been a little bit quiet.
No,
Tell me something.
In respect to just insecurities,
Insecurities.
would you like another example
You could give us another example.
of a situation? So when I was listening, when I think it was Kayla who mentioned when it comes to your mental insecurities. And I remember when I was doing my internship, the first time, because I failed, but it wasn't necessarily all my fault. Just to show that out there. We're not going to call names. We're not going to call names. I remember when I was sitting in my room one night and I decided to cry because I felt very overwhelmed, and I was like, I can't do this. This done not for me. Teaching was not for me. All of this I was feeling myself, and I was like, you know what? No. I love kids, and I've always wanted to be around kids. And I remember I told my mom, and she said, Keisha, pray about it. You could do this. This is what you will want to. So now put all your efforts into it. And I went to school the following day. I was still a bit sad because I was like, these kids just don't know how to listen. Right? And so I went to school and I said, you know what, whatever happened, I know I did my best and nobody can tell me otherwise. When it was time for grades to get posted, I remember getting a call from my supervisor, and she said to come into school. So I told my other friend that was doing internship with me, I asked her, did they call you to go into school? She said, no. I said, well, they just call me and tell me I need to come in. And she was like, oh, Keisha. I said, what happened now? It's like normally when they call you and it's because you didn't do well. Now I got ready, I went to school and I had all positive thought. And then I got into the office and the supervisor told me, so I just wanted to let you know that you didn't pass internship.
Oh man.
And I went home the evening and I just cried. And I was like, you know what? Because I could have done it the January, because I did it in August, but I said, you know what? No, I'll wait and I'll do this when I feel like I had enough courage or enough confidence to do this. And when I went back, I was like, you know what? No matter what happens, I know I'm doing my best. I'm going to work my hardest. And I passed. And that made me, when I got the call, because we were taking long to get our grades back, and so our supervisor called all of us and she didn't tell us our grade, but she said, just wanted to let you know, I know you're probably anxious and you're probably worried, but I just want to let you know that you passed. And when I got off the phone, tears of joy. No one is happier than me. So even though I felt like I couldn't do it, I knew that I did my best when I put all of my confidence. I built my confidence to say, you know what, Keisha, it's hard, yes, but you got this. Yeah. And like what Jalen said, little words of affirmations, even when you tell yourself, it makes you feel better and it gives you that boost of confidence that you need. Yeah. So don't let like what they have been saying, don't let your insecurities define you, whether it's physical, mental. If you know that this is what you want and this is what you're pushing for, don't let nobody tell you anything otherwise, and you don't let yourself feel like you can't do nothing, because you can do anything with God's help.
Let me tell you something. Your mind is your
powerful thing.
It's powerful, but it's your own worst enemy.
Yeah, it is.
Not only that, we have all these things happening to us because God, as for teenagers, you got all these hormones happening and changing inside of us. So we have all these crazy thoughts, and then your friends and your parents, they do contributing to those insecurities because the name calling, the things they say, the things they say to us, the things that they do, and it's on a daily basis. Imagine, I think that I could remember one of my professors telling us while we were in class. He says, negative words can change your mind immediately. Mm-hmm. Quicker than positive words can. So you could feed your mind with a bunch of craziness for a couple days, and you will be sad, depressed, and out of it. And it takes you a long time before you can adjust back with the affirmation and the good words.
Not even days, a matter of minutes. You just say, and that switch just
your brain,
and you're just,
your brain.
I don't want to do this.
And not only that, teachers as well. Because imagine a teacher tell you, you're stupid, you can't learn. And you go through your entire school life thinking that you cannot learn, you're dumb, you're this, you're that. And these things affect children growing up. And that's why we find a lot of the young people not going farther than the graduation that they reach to. It's primary school or high school. Majority of the people that I went to school with, when they graduate from primary school, they didn't go farther because some way along the way you got told how you're stupid or you're dumb, you cannot learn, and your friends.
When it comes to the name calling that you said, sometimes we also need to be careful about how we speak to others, because especially when they are children around. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I can attest, I have a little niece, right? And she's about 4. And if I would say something to my sister or my brother out of joke, as in name calling them, as in just to say, why you're stupid, or you're a clown or something like that, they see and they hear what we call them. And it's not to say be disrespectful, but they would spin around, and if they're playing with someone or another child, they would hear it and they would say the same thing to them, and that is what adds on to the insecurities with other children. Because when a child tells us something, you know that's true. That's true. That's true. So when I tell them why your head looks up, wait, tell me what my head fat. You best believe your head looks faggy and it look right. So children, they are not afraid to tell the truth.
You know, when you said that just now, reminds me a couple months ago when me and Jalen was just getting close as friends. And every time something happened, we would be at each other's head when the sarcasm and the jokes. And my mom looked at both of us and said, guys, remember, the way you joke with each other can ruin a friendship. And I was like, okay. And so we looked at each other and we were like, okay. And we continue at it. And then when we start seeing some hard moments come in, and then we realized, okay, how do we work through this? We didn't have a moment where we were being nice to each other. So how can the nice now prevail over the hard jokes we were having?
That is true. It's just that's why I'm saying that you just need to be careful about, even when you're joking with you can be your best friend. You need to be careful because one day you never know, it can be something that they're insecure about. And because they don't want to outrightly say it, they go home and cry for 2 days, and then you don't know how you have affected them, even doing it jokingly, because I can attest, I have done it before. And I don't know if you guys have, but it does really hurt when you're saying something out of joke, but someone takes it the other way. That's not nice.
And it's hard when you're a person that likes to joke. Because
I am very sarcastic.
So it's very hard.
I'm very sarcastic. I'm working on it, not hard, but I am working. And we talk about insecurities, and we talk about the social aspect and internal. But how does God see us? Because there are plenty of texts in the Bible. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are made in God's image. God formed us out of dust with His hands. But how does God really see us? Do we really believe those texts?
I have this favorite phrase or this saying that I like to use, where it says that God will use our insecurities, but not our unbelief. So I like using that because it reminds me, it's something that I had to tell myself. Aislinn, your belief is what mattered to Jesus. It is what mattered to Him the most. So your acne on your face that means nothing to Him. Just make sure that you believe and He will help you through.
That is true. Also, there is another one that sometimes we are just thinking, man, like we're not seeing things as how God is seeing things. Like it says, the Bible verse that says, your thoughts are not my thoughts, your ways are not my ways. We can think all sorts of stuff in our mind about ourselves or think about things, but God is at a higher place. He knows, and we are above His angels, imagine, right? And it also comes to that verse in Jeremiah where it says, for I know the plans I have for you. God doesn't want you to not be prosperous. He doesn't want you to not think that you're not beautiful or you're not handsome or that you're not smart enough. He has plans for you, and those plans are for you to be prosperous, to live a life full of love and happiness, and not to think anything bad of yourself.
But you see, our mind makes us believe that what we're thinking and what the physical person like what you're telling me, that God sees me the same way you sees me, because that's me looking into the mirror. I am seeing all these
insecurities
that say
perfection,
this and that, and and then it creates this plaster over my face, and so I am seeing something different, and so what I see is what I start projecting on God, and then I start to look at me through His eyes, but with my words and my understanding.
It's very interesting, all of these thoughts, and I want you to keep that same frame of mind because we're about to take a break, but join us right back here for even more on this topic. Stay tuned.
Okay, we are here at Canaan interviewing a few of our students here. So we have started this show for youth, and this week our topic is about insecurity. If there is one thing that you love about yourself, what is it?
I love my body and my height, miss.
Why?
Because I love my height because I get it from my parents because my mom and my patal and I really like my height because all of my family members tall too and if I'm a short I never may like myself and my body I love my body just the way I am because I don't want to change myself because I love myselfness.
All right, thank you.
My attitude.
Why?
Because I'm a very complicated person. I'm easy to get mad, and every little thing like I overdoing, so I overdo. And I don't know, I'm easy to get mad. My parents say they don't like my attitude, but I got it from my mom.
Okay.
She is very, very strict person. So
Okay, thank you.
welcome.
Miss my size, miss.
Why?
Miss because other people like tell me how I big and thing. Like that.
That I don't have no facial hair
Okay, why is that?
because I think that facial hair makes you look more attractive.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so do you have an insecurity? And if you do have one, have you ever been bullied for it?
Yes, miss, my weight and yes, people always bully about it.
Why? Why you think they bully you about
Miss
that?
not think, miss, they do call your names.
Oh, it's a name calling. Okay, thank you.
My height.
Why?
Because I'm too short and I can't reach the stuffs. Like, try be big.
Oh, okay.
Miss I would want to change my behavior in a class, like act more mannerly and just have more respect and that's not.
Okay. What would it be?
It's my hairline, see that?
Why?
I like it, man. People see. It's that one of my weaknesses.
Okay, so you want your hairline to be sharper than that?
Nice and straight.
Okay then.
Got a wise on that. Nothing not really miss.
All right. Thank you. What would it be?
Oh, there are so many things, but I think in terms of personality, I would like to learn to say no more often. I think I'm a little bit of a people pleaser, and if people say can you, and I say yes because I don't want somebody to feel bad. And I think that it's important that I learn to say no for my own mental health, and that sometimes people will understand and they won't think I'm a terrible person.
Thank you.
One of the things I like to change about myself is not to be so blunt all the time. When I'm speaking with persons, I have a tendency of being very blunt very quickly. So, I believe I can change that and, be blunt, yes, but in a controlled manner and do it later on sometime in the conversation.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to talk more to people. Like I would want to be an extrovert.
Okay. Thank you.
Be my ability to do anything musical. Maybe be able to learn to play an instrument easier or being able to sing, those sorts of stuff. I really wish that I had musical talent and it was like natural for me.
Hi, Christine. I have a question for you. If there is one thing you could change about yourself, what do you think that would be?
Okay, that's a very touchy question, but one thing if I could change about myself would be having more patience. And the reason why I say having more patience is because sometimes in life, my husband always say it's not how you wait, but it's the attitude you have while waiting. So I think that in life, if I would be able to change and have more patience, that is something that I would want to have more patience.
Thank you. Well, I think that I'm not generally fit in anywhere. Okay. At some point I kind of get used to it, but I think that I would like to fit in a little bit more.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome back from a break. We are having fun doing this Come Alive show. When I tell you the conversation is hype, hype.
Let me tell you what we were talking about before the break. Our topic of discussion for this episode is the man in the mirror, insecurities, and all the nastiness it brings along with it. We like to remind you that we are on Facebook, YouTube, and channel 98 for you to catch us every week.
And for those viewers that just came in, you know the ones in the back that just came in, go comment. Tell us about your insecurities. I mean, sometimes you don't like to talk about it, but it is so good. Sometimes some people will be up there that will encourage you on the live. So don't feel afraid. Let us know. Before we do anything, let's take our picture. Let's take our phones in hand.
Wow, that's what we're doing?
We are about to take a selfie right here. Right here. We're about to take a selfie. Turn on that,
All right.
you know?
No,
No
filters.
no
Guys, but at home as well, if you have a mirror or a phone, you can take a selfie as well.
Yes, guys, let's take our selfie. No, remember, no filters.
But I need the good. We got the
No,
good.
the good light. That's right. Let's take our pictures now. Okay.
All right.
Look, see? Everybody, now what I
Yeah, see
want you
that?
guys to do is to look at your picture and what do you see? I see
It's the clear skin for me.
I see a bright smile. I see a perfect person on my screen.
I think we can all say we see bright smiles.
Right, I feel like I have a pretty smile.
Right. But coming back to what we were talking about earlier about our friends and our joking around and our parents, parents can really be a big part of or growing up
Yes.
or what has been molded within us, the things that we hear on a daily basis, the things we see on a daily basis. How do you think our parents affect the way we see these insecurities within us?
Um, I wasn't gonna scan name my mom, but
We don't call names here.
but I'm doing it anyway. Mom, I love you, okay? I'm saying this to love. Mentioned earlier that my insecurity, the insecurity that I have or struggle with the most is my weight. And growing up and everything, my mom used to always say, Keisha, they get big. You need to stop eat so much. Ma, but I'm hungry.
The food nice.
But no, she not Keisha, you need to lose some weight. My sister used to always like recently, not a scandal too much, ma. I love you. Recently, we had a crusade and we were on our way to crusade, and my sister was going with us, and my mom said something, and my sister was like, "Ma, why you not let Keisha alone? Making hurt," and she's like, "But I just say out of love, no, you're not." Because like I've always told her, like, yes, ma, I know I'm big, I know I need to lose it, but you saying it the way you say it is not helping. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. But no, alright, well, not talking no more sense. I'm not how to talk. In the first place.
Raising a mother.
It's so hard. Do not recommend.
I just think there are better ways because you said how she would always come and say, well, you need to lose weight, you need to stop eating. I feel like as parents too, sometimes you need to stop saying and start helping.
Right.
It would have been better if she would say, Keisha, yes, we understand that you need to lose weight, but she would be like, Keisha, make her go run. Keisha, your mom is
I would say, Mom, I want to go on a fruit diet for like a week. That expensive. Mom, you just tell me. Keisha, you need to lose weight. So no, you know, it doesn't add up.
Keisha, I share the same sentiment with you, okay? We have a big goal. It's big.
I wouldn't say big. It's
Big.
moderate size.
Right, but that's a big thing
Big
inside of it.
In our first segment, while we were having our discussion, we had some questions from our viewers, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So in this series of the crop, we have some big questions. That's the first one, Power Keisha.
I'll shake it up so we don't, right? So,
Easy question.
right? So, our first question is, when was the last time you felt really insecure about the parts of yourself you pretend don't exist? So, when was the last time you felt really insecure? I'll go first. I'll go first. So going back to the weight thing, so like recently, because I feel like I lack a lot of confidence wearing clothes that I want to wear, and then I see people that are bigger than me, no offense, that are bigger than me, and they're just so confident wearing it because I wish I had your confidence.
Yeah, that is one thing you always say. I wish I had the confidence you have to rock that.
Right.
Listen, getting dressed for church on Sabbath is the worst experience ever. And
I can agree with that.
every single week because then you want to wear this nice dress, but then your belly growing over it,
I feel your pain. I feel it. Next box, Sam. It says, how do you seek other people's approval?
You start with that, Jill.
I have this question, right? I do this, but it's mostly when I'm uncertain about the combination of the outfit. When I'm coming, it's giving.
Yeah, it is.
But I know that I am, and if I mean it, I think this shirt got this pants, the tag, and you'll be like, I wouldn't wear that tie with that. So there are times where I'm not too confident, what I put on, and it could look fine. My mom will allow me to wear it.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. So our next question, it says, how often do you feel irrationally jealous of others?
How often? Honestly, it all comes down to also being confident, as we say, because once you're a confident person, you don't need to be jealous of what other people have,
Right.
because you know you have your own style, your own pizzazz. I mean, each of us, people always say they have this saying that goes, no matter where you could do, you always have somebody where could do it better,
Right.
look better. But you should have your own confidence and your own style to know that this is me. This is who I am, and I will work this. If I can't work that, I can work this. So being jealous shouldn't be something that floats around in your head. It does happen, yes, sometimes, but you should be confident enough that that's your style and that's how you want things and that's how you know it will go.
All right. Our next question, it says, do you feel being imperfect is perfectly natural?
Like I mentioned earlier, that I feel like I'm perfectly imperfect. So I would just say yes for that. It is natural to feel imperfect, but then be imperfect in your own way.
All right. Our next question, it says, what is important for you, being yourself or being what other people want you to be? That's a very good question. Because I struggle with this daily. And it's just it's me being saying, all right, I know I want this for me, but is this what my mom wants for me? What my dad wants for me? It's something that I struggle with, and I have to constantly say, this is my life. God, it was great, but it's my life, and I have to do what's best for me, and not what's best for everyone all the time.
We have career people walking around here going through the process of earning their masters or PhD in careers that they didn't even want to be
And they're
in,
not
and
happy.
they're not happy.
I just need to stick a pin in what Keisha said about not looking at others and because you're wanting it for yourself. We need to stop seeking approval from other people and just seek it from God. If it's what God wants, then
Yeah.
God will allow it. If not, it just know what happens.
Right.
True.
That line reminds me of a song. I won't say the name or the artist. The line is, why am I seeking approval from people I don't even know? Mm.
That's deep.
All right. Our next question, it says, are you okay with other people disliking you?
I don't think the question the questions I know it's so bad. I understand that God says, you must love your neighbor as yourself and you must be lovable as well.
Right.
But if somebody not like me, that's personal choice. It's giving me that you don't have good taste in a people. I don't let it get to me because one thing I've realized, you do your best. People can still talk much and never your best today. And you do your worst thing and you talk
Double
the same way.
anyways.
You know what I'm telling people like? Sandpaper.
That's
They help me to get the varnish on me that I need to look the best.
All right. That's the
Let
third.
people know.
Next question. It says, do you often engage in negative self-talk?
Upward Kayla.
Often. That often tends to, put it out there. But that's deep, you know why? Because sometimes, like when Aislinn, you guys were saying your mind could be your enemy. Sometimes you don't even want to talk negative. Like it's just
Right.
like you don't want to, and it just yeah, what? That no look good. And I'll be like, what is me?
It's love handles for me.
Yeah, man. Like, and you don't want to, but like your mind just play games with you. You don't want, and then you'll be like, for you, that you know, it don't look good. Then you go try find more thing, or you go do something
I'm
else.
sure with that every
It's the
day.
same thing, and it's you don't want to, but it just happens. So you have to try hard to always think positive, always have happy thoughts, because sometimes you're just there and you could just sit down to watch TV and you tell us, when you get up, go do something. What should I do something? Gotta be lazy. And I'm like, stop. It just naturally
It just
comes
comes.
to you.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. It says, does engaging in self-sabotaging activities give you a weird sense of pleasure?
Yeah, question.
These are some heavy questions.
I know. Self-sabotage giving you pleasure. You know, some people live from off of pain. Some people live off pain. They survive from pain. And from me, I don't survive from pain. One thing I could feel is sad. I am a jovial person, and so being sappy and down and have all nah, it's not my forte. I don't like to feel that way. But people do
Get pleasure.
get pleasure from it, and I feel like it's weird, but that's who am I to say that they shouldn't, you know?
Yeah. All right. So our last question, it says, what are the things that makes you anxious? I'll take a spin for this one. Um, so there's several things that makes me anxious. One being, the thing is, I don't have an issue making new friends. I like making new friends. It's just
We love everybody.
it's just going out there and being peopling.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like peopling for too much. So peopling for too much makes me very anxious and it drains my social batteries.
Small talks.
Yeah.
I don't like to be it is weird, but I guess because of as I get older, getting to come to you and be like, so what's your name? What's your color? It really I start feeling the heat inside of me starting to the temperature starts raising. I don't know why, but that do yeah small thoughts is really
Yeah,
good.
it does.
I relate to a little because I am the quietest and the noisiest person.
That is true.
But I am only noisy when I'm in a comfortable situation.
Yes.
So these people here know that I am very open, very talkative, but we don't talk about
We don't talk about
but in the wrong setting, I'm very quiet. I think we have to make a little shift here.
Yes, because we
We
can't just talk about all the insecurities and not talk about how to fix them, right?
the activity earlier with the selfie is a part of something we call affirmations. And it's good to have affirmations because it boosts confidence, which we learned at the beginning of this episode that insecurities is a result of lack of confidence. So what affirmations can we give to ourselves to give us that little confidence boost?
One of my favorite one is the man in the mirror, me and my mirror. We have thoughts. We have self thoughts. Aislinn, you are strong. Aislinn, you deserve this. Why you deserve it? Because you're Aislinn and you are da 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 da. And one of my favorite thing to help me to boost my confidence and to affirm myself is the Wonder Woman stand. I saw it one day when watching Grey's Anatomy. Don't judge me, but I watched them.
No judgment here.
It is the Wonder Woman's. What is from Michaela? I won't stand, but you will take your hands and put it on your, like on this, and you're going to stand, and then you're going to spread your legs apart, and you're going to stand uprightly, and you stay there, and you look up and you tell yourself these bunch of strong thoughts, and it just helped me. And I would do it before I go into any presentation, do it before I do something big, because it makes me feel like I am that Wonder Woman that is about to take over this world, take over the stage.
We talked about insecurities in school, and this is an affirmation that you can do also because I spent an excessive amount of time at school getting my associate's degree for many reasons, mainly because of the school. But we're not going to talk about that.
No, we're not.
And one of the hardest thing for me was, and each student at the sixth form level knows this part of the semester, is at one point after withdrawal period that you be like, you know what, it's time for me to switch majors. This is too hard. And then you think you can't finish it. I'm graduated now, thankfully, 2020. But one thing to do in affirming yourself and your accomplishments is to focus on past accomplishments. Listen, I'm at sixth form. I got here because I finished high school, and high school was hard.
Right.
I got to high school because I finished primary school, and I was on honor roll in primary school.
Right.
So think about things that you've accomplished, you've achieved that will boost your esteem.
Self-care. Sorry, Keisha. It's nothing for you because when I just came up from school, I remember not having money like that because I just came from school, and one of my things about self-care was getting my nails and my pedi and manicure and making myself look nice, even though I was broke. But I did that because I said, no matter what, I will make me feel good. And I stick with that. And ever since I've done it, and I will do it again once it makes me feel good.
I wanted to piggyback off what the first comment that you made with the looking in the mirror and being your Wonder Woman stance before you're going to big presentations or whenever you're going to do something big. And I don't do it in that sense, but what I do is I sit in front of my mirror and I said, okay, I've been having an off day. So when I feel like I have an off day, I go and I sit in front of my mirror and I say, all right, Keisha, you are strong, you are smart, you are brave. And I tell myself things that makes me feel better about myself. And I feel like I'm fine. I got this covered for the next day because nobody on me. Right? No, and that's one of our biggest strengths I can say. No one is Kayla. Kayla is only Kayla. No one is Keisha. I'm only me. There's no one else like me out there. And so that should make you feel even better about yourself because there's no one out here that looks like you, talks like you, dresses like you. It's only you. So that should be one of your biggest confidence boost as well.
Yeah. Right. God made each and every one of us
Unique.
individually
Right.
unique. It, or the marks on our fingers or fingerprints, each of them are different, and that is why God is so awesome. I mean, affirmation is a really helpful thing in this life. I mean, yes, we can boost ourselves in the mirror, but it also helps when we can get affirmation from other people.
Yeah.
Because even because I won't say, oh, I don't like when somebody tells me I'm beautiful. Oh, I won't like when somebody tells me I have a wide, bright smile. So even if you're going through the day and you don't know if when you tell that person, oh, you look beautiful today, that can really lift their spirit and really uplift them. So it's nice to, yes, of course, tell ourselves that we are strong, we have the courage, but it's also good to also tell others that
Yeah.
they are
Right.
strong and beautiful as well.
Piggybacking off that, earlier mentioned some texts in the Bible, and you remember you had one. Uh, how does God affirm us? Because we talked about being, you said, seeing yourself in God's eyes. So a text that came to my mind as Kayla said it, it was magical. I want to say was you're a chosen people,
Chosen
Royal priesthood.
royal priesthood,
Yeah.
chosen generation.
Chosen generation.
That's affirming. That makes me know I don't like the regular people.
Right? Of course not.
I have a crown on my head when nobody cares about my Jesus.
Listen, God promised us over and over again how we are a very peculiar people.
That's right.
Not
Yes.
like no other.
Set aside.
Yes.
Imagine. Listen, Jesus be quoting me. Then one of them may capture me. Right? But just to wrap up this session, we have to also remember to surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
The people, your friends, the friends that we choose, we got to know how to choose them and to surround ourselves because we don't want to also, sometimes we don't have that in us to tell ourselves that, but then our friends can easily say, you got this friend, you got this, you got
A
this.
very good friend. You that one.
All right, I've enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure you have as well. This brings us to the end, unfortunately, but stay tuned. We have another episode coming up next week. To close us out, we have a song by Marilyn Myers. Thank you for joining us.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just a sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. have, and I want laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
As a non-profit organization, the Adventist Television Network solely relies on your financial support. By partnering with us through a monthly donation, you will help us to continue to fulfill the mission in taking the gospel into all the world. For more information, please call 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. Thank you for your prayers and support of the ATN ministry, and together we may hasten the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.